We got to go to Cenk Uygur. Charlie Kirk did put this tweet out. He didn't condemn Trump. He merely took a shot at like, hey, we don't like it when they over-police us, so don't over-police them. But he did not at all take a shot at Trump. It's this tweet. This was the tweet where he's basically saying freedom of speech. They always swing it like in a, right, the mutilation of children. There's no fucking children being mutilated, and there's no radical gender propaganda. There's just acceptance. These guys are such fucking weirdos. But he is like, you know, he's got this weird anti-Semitism thing that he doesn't quite buy. No, the framing of all this is nonsensical because it's all basically fucking bullshit. Okay, they like hate speech. They want hate speech to be protected. That is what Cenk Uygur is talking about.
Anti-Semitism becomes valid grounds to censor or even imprison somebody. There will be frantic efforts to label all kinds of speech as anti-Semitic. Not only that, but all of this won't even work. Legal crackdown won't make anti-Semitism go away. In the long run, it would make it worse. America's free speech tradition is our birthright. We should never get rid of it.
Okay, so here's the deal though. Yeah, I know they quoted Charlie's tweet. They're using Charlie's tweet. I believe you can have free speech and you can monitor hate speech. I believe the two are possible. They are possible. If you're going to have a public square, you must address hate speech. You have to, you know, and I totally agree though with the government not being able to put you in prison. The free speech applying to the government the way it is in the First Amendment, that the government cannot punish you. Now, here's what's odd is right now the government is punishing speech. They're talking about free speech, but Mahmoud Khalil speech, the Tufts University woman with the op-ed speech, Harvard, they're trying to compel Harvard over speech, Maine over speech, the AP, they kicked them out of the fucking briefings because of the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, come on, man. The government is actively punishing speech. They're firing people from government jobs if they talked about woke shit. Like right now, literally, the Trump admin is totally anti-free speech. And they're trying to use this anti-Semitism shit as their blanket. And now you can say, well, what is hate speech? But like, I think you can figure that out. There's a way to moderate that. I mean, you don't need to be using slurs. There's no reason to use slurs. And there's nothing wrong with deplatforming people. I don't think if they use hate speech. I know some people are like against that, but I don't know. I think words can be really harmful. And the way I've discovered it too is words are really harmful to the people on the bottom rung. You know what I'm saying? It's like the effect of words gets harder the more marginalized or the less power you have. Exactly. The less power you have, the more fucking harmful those words are. So that needs to be taken into account.
For those who follow Charlie Kirk, I don't even know if we didn't tell you who wrote all that, they would believe it was him.
Yeah, look, I know that people are wedded to their positions, and so they usually never come off of them, no matter what the overwhelming facts are. So look, guys, Charlie Kirk has a history that is not pleasant.
See, before he goes in and whatever he says about Charlie Kirk, I want to tell you why Charlie Kirk is making this stand. Because at the end of the day, Charlie Kirk needs hate speech to be legal. He needs it. His entire TPUSA, his entire campaign to radicalize young white men and to keep the billions of dollars flowing from the evangelicals through Charlie Kirk's political apparatus. They need hate speech to be legal and free. It is the basis of what they do. So no matter how Charlie Kirk feels, okay, he's a hypocrite because he's supporting Trump, and Trump is fucking First Amendmenting like sacrificing it all over, threatening universities, Columbia, Harvard, Yale, all this shit. The AP and Charlie Kirk is fully supporting him. So he doesn't fucking care when that shit gets clamped down upon, okay, when his side does it. But they do need hate speech, particularly anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ, anti-woman, okay, in order to be able to fucking function for their ultimate goal. So Charlie Kirk is going to say this shit because he needs to. He's got a mission to radicalize young white men, and the hate speech is required. But anyway, let's see, Cenk.
Look, I know that people are wedded to their positions, and so they usually never come off of them, no matter what the overwhelming facts are. So look, guys, Charlie Kirk has a history that is not pleasant, and we massively disagree with him on many other things, right? And
Dude, Cenk wanted to have a beer with him. Who's the we, Cenk? You agreed with him on some shit, but you want to have a beer with that chiclet tooth motherfucker, so.
We all know what he said about black pilots, right? And we all know what he said about MLK Day, right? So those things, this opinion does not wash away all of those other statements and all of those other positions, right? At the same time, those other positions don't wash away this agreement, because this agreement is super important. So we have to be able to fight on other issues.
See, the thing though is Cenk is doing the right-wing thing here. He's saying, you know what? It doesn't matter that this guy is wildly racist and toxic on all these other issues. As soon as he's on our side in one issue, we're gonna like use him. We're gonna be transactional, okay, and use him. But this is how the Republicans have Nazis in their party. They're like, well, we don't agree with them on the neo-Nazi openly shit, but we all hate trans people, so therefore we're going to let him in the party. And this is what the right-wingers do. Whereas, no, you have to have a basis of human rights, right? If you're going to do the racist DEI shit and then you're going to support whatever, it does not count. No, it's either like you either can do the equitable human rights for all or don't do any, because you're full of shit. If your human rights don't apply to everybody, then you don't believe in human rights, okay? You believe in selective, like when your morality approves of somebody, you believe they deserve human rights. But this is the same Charlie Kirk that thinks the Fifth Amendment says all citizens. He thinks the Fifth Amendment only applies to citizens because he's a fucking clown.
And agree on things where we could build an effective coalition. And who is Trump more likely to listen to? Me or Charlie Kirk?
See, that's just it. Cenk wants to build an effective coalition. What's an effective coalition? You think Charlie Kirk is ever going to be part of a coalition for left-wing people? There's no fucking way, dude. Like, what kind of effective coalition are you going to have with Charlie Kirk? This is bullshit. No, there's not going to be any leftist coalition with Charlie Kirk or Donald Trump. Fuck these guys. And fuck Cenk Uygur if he's coalitioning with these guys.
All of us, or Charlie Kirk, Dave Smith, and by the way, breaking news, Steve Bannon. So I'm going to get to Steve Bannon in a second, okay? So no, any rational person knows he's more likely to listen to them. Who's he more likely to listen to? The left-wing base or the right-wing base? These are not complicated questions. You all know the answer. So if we can swing the
Dude, Trump ain't listening to anybody, bro.
Charlie Kirks of the world to have this position, that's amazing. That's amazing. Take the win. I'm taking the win. I don't mean for me. I mean in the policy position.
Dude, it's crazy though, because Cenk won't take the win on where him and Sam Seder agree, right? Right? What win? Dude, Cenk and Sam Seder, do they agree on some shit? Can they take a win? Can they have a beer? Can they be on each other's show? Huh. It's weird, huh?
If these guys had joined into, oh yeah, round up all of Israel's critics. No, freedom of speech is not important. Who cares? Let's cancel them, right? Then it would have been much, much harder to stop this madness. Now it just got a little easier to stop the madness. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop overnight. It doesn't mean Trump's going to listen to Charlie Kirk or anyone else, right? But this
dude, he still thinks Trump is going to listen to people and like get sane. Like, how long? How long is this motherfucker gonna like go along with this charade, bro?
is a big step in the right direction, and I'll take those wins. Dave Smith's a little bit more complicated. Dave Smith has always been a critic of how Israel's conducting this war, the Israeli government overall, and he voted for Trump, and he's a Trump supporter. And he has positions that are also what we would consider right wing and wouldn't agree with at all. But he's a complicated and really smart guy. And on foreign policy, a lot of times he agrees with us, and he's definitely anti-war. So you see, it's a mix of different folks with slightly different opinions, but coalescing around this idea of no, freedom of speech means freedom of speech, and Israel doesn't get to take that away and start arresting and deporting people because they criticized Israel. And in the case of the people that have been arrested so far, it's crystal clear. They have no evidence connecting them to Hamas or terrorism or anything. All they have is an op-ed criticizing Israel. One guy, a Palestinian student that went to Columbia, who went on TV and was talking about how terrible anti-Semitism is and how we have to build coalitions with Jewish brothers and sisters to stop the war and save everybody's lives. So no, they picked the worst possible targets. We got lucky on that, in a sense, on that. We're now getting a little bit lucky to get even Charlie Kirk on this issue to join us.
We're a little bit lucky to get Charlie Kirk in on this issue to join us. But what does that get you, Cenk Uygur? What does that get you other than alienating you from everyone on your side? What does it get you that you and Charlie Kirk agree here? Like how? What does that mean? Is that going to get Abrego Garcia back? Right? Is that going to end Trump trashing the economy? Is it going to prevent Charlie Kirk from fucking radicalizing young men to hate women and trans people and LGBTQ people, to create an army of Andrew Tate clones in the youth and fucking unleash them on America and try to monetize them and help them keep political power? And you're going to fucking allow that shit to happen, and you're going to can subtly endorse it and give it your stamp of approval, all because he said something about free speech that makes you feel like you have an ally because you so desperately want somebody that is connected to that power structure. Like, why are you doing that? All they're going to do, Cenk, if they agree with you and you welcome them in, all they're going to do is they're going to use you. They're going to use you to fuck over people, and that's it. They're going to use you. They're going to invite you over to trash the other party and then use that to win. And then they're going to harm all those people and everybody that's not you guys with a lot of money. They're going to use you. They're going to move the goalposts, right? They're going to arrest people for their speech. Donald Trump is literally arresting people for their speech. Him and Marco Rubio, it's like the State Department's new philosophy. There's so many problems I have with the entire framing of that. He used the America First. He said it's a good thing about America First. Forget about all the KKK shit and all the Hitler shit. We're going to forget about all that because they agree with us on this one thing. So America First, good now. So he's like using their language. He's done the same thing with his description of the radical left. He started to use their language, the radical left. He has adopted their same transactional nature. Like, forget about Charlie Kirk being a racist and all the DEI substituting for the N-word. He's like, we agree with them on something, so we're going to make a coalition together. But a coalition for what? What's the coalition? And he's still got that pie in the sky of thinking Trump can be reasoned with, even though, like, how he thinks that, like, he's lying. There's no way he actually thinks that. There's no fucking way, right? There's just no way. I mean, if Cenk Uygur still thinks Trump can be reasoned with and MAGA's not going to like spin and move the goalposts instantaneously, he's either he knows this and he's just disingenuous because of the Peter Thiel money, or he doesn't know this and he's really the dumbest fucking political commentator on the planet. Yeah, I know he knows. Of course. These guys know. These fucking grifters, they know. Trump, though, I'm not surprised that Trump is going to punish the critics of Israel because Trump does not believe in free speech. He never has. Okay, he believes he should be free to say whatever he wants without consequences. But outside of that, outside of the locus of his own personal experience, where he has the freedom to say whatever he wants and never have any consequences, dude, he fully believes in punishing people for speech, taking broadcast licenses, firing them, like bankrupting their companies, putting them in an El Salvadorian jail based on what they say, right? Anything. He has no problem with that. You say one negative thing about him, he would have no problem imprisoning you for life. He would not. He would be totally fucking like down with that. But this idea that, I don't know, man. I am very wary of making deals with the devil. I mean, making deals with people that are just deceitful and dishonest. Because if you allow yourself to make a deal with somebody like Charlie Kirk, you legitimize him. And you know that Charlie Kirk is going to use you. You know that he is a goalpost mover. The entire Republican thing is a goalpost mover. I mean, look at what they have done since 2016. They started by attacking, immigration, lies about the caravans, lies about an invasion, lies about a financial crash. First, Trump supported gay rights. Then he fucking turned on him. Then he was anti-trans, Muslim ban, trans ban in the military. This is when he had been pro-trans, when he had a beauty pageant. He was the first guy to let trans women into beauty pageants. So this guy's all over the map. Completely disingenuous, completely going with the flow. They went from CRT, all right, to fucking DEI, through woke, right? Then to fucking lies about sex changes at school. I mean, lies about immigrants, the migrant crime epidemic that was like 2 murders in 2 fucking years. All of it is bullshit. He's bending and breaking the Constitution. He's claiming that he's powerless to get Abrego Garcia back from CCOT. It is just lie upon lie upon lie upon lie upon, bad faith, right? Bad faith participation, bad faith verbiage. Everything about Trump is based on lies, bad faith, and selfishness. Punished 40 years for fucking vandalizing a car. Like, come on. So you don't make deals with them, period. Okay, I'm not going to fucking make a deal with Donald Trump or Charlie Kirk. I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere. And that's the shit that bothers me about him is Cenk has this. He has an admiration for Donald Trump. He does. He has an admiration for Donald Trump. And I'll tell you exactly what it is because Cenk has told us. Okay, he told us his admiration for Donald Trump is how he took over the party. That's what it was. He mentioned it when he was talking about his frustration with Democrats and his frustration with people like, acquiescing to middle of the road Democrats because he hates the Democrats and he has not been able to let go of like MSNBC not giving him a show. He's not been able to let go of Bernie losing. He's not been able to let go of Bernie rescinding his endorsement of him when he found out with the incel blog. But he repeatedly, Cenk Uygur, talks about how Donald Trump came in and just commandeered the whole party. And Cenk Uygur wishes he could do that to the Democratic Party because he hates the Democratic Party so much. He hates him more than any Republican. He hates him more than Donald Trump, but he actually admires what Donald Trump did in going in and gutting the Republican Party and completely taking it over. Cenk admires the shit out of him for that. And that's why he kisses his ass, he polishes the knob, he fucking washes the feet, he fucking licks the taint. He does the whole 9 yards, man. He does. He does. Because he admires the shit out of Donald J. Trump, dude. Donald J. Trump. Dude, yeah, no, it's gross, dude. It's gross because, you know, I wouldn't want anybody to do to the Democratic Party what Trump did to the Republican one. I mean, all he does is, you know, blackmail and fucking abuse. He's abusive and toxic. And eventually, when Trump is out of politics, I do believe the Republican Party is going to pay a price for this. It may be, you know, 10 years from now when, you know, some of these young white men that are being radicalized into this red pill nature go and get their ass kicked in life and realize that the red pilling is not what they thought it was, that it's not what it was cracked up to be. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.